Tibbetts, and I'm from Tift County. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak. I have no delusions whatsoever that this is a very political process. One only has to look at the makeup of the committee and the folks that you've hired to draw the lines. We all know it's a political process. Andrew Jackson, along so the districts, however, that are drawn for political parties are not districts that are drawn to serve the people who live in those parties. And so I would ask you that it's, to the greatest extent possible, the less partisan that you are with respect, especially to political parties, the better off we are. When we live in a situation when we have politicians who feel like they have to switch parties in order to survive the political process, then something is wrong with our process and it needs to change. Georgia, there are other states that are switching to a nonpartisan process, and Georgia could be a leader here if we wanted to be. There was a lady who spoke yesterday in Albany about the 1965 Voting Rights Act and the yoke that it presents and the things that y'all have to do to get around that. Lines that you draw, if you draw them and the courts accept them, then that means that we're getting there where we need to be, getting out from under the yoke of the 65 Voting Rights Act. But the last time this process was done by the legislature, it was the courts who drew the lines and not the committee. So here's my other points. Communities of interest, that seems to be the buzz phrase today. On the congressional side, this means that folks in Tift County and Colquitt County who have little or nothing in common with the folks in Butte and Newton County. Not that I feel badly about them, but our congressional district is like a cigar that runs up I-75, and it's just wrong. We don't have anything in common with them, and they don't have anything in common with us, and we all not have to chase our representative all around the state. Contiguous territory, I will second what other folks have said about respecting county and city boundaries. The size represents a potential problem for folks who want to get elected. I've been a candidate. I know what happens when you've got to travel hither and yon, and I know that that means that money comes into the process and not necessarily how good the candidate is. So I would ask you to think about the size that you do. And I would echo what the gentleman before said about wild changes. When you make changes and force people out of one district and into another district, it disenfranchises those voters. We have people in Tift County who told me when I ran for office, John, I wanted to vote for you, but I got to the polls and you weren't on the list. Well, that's because somebody decided to draw a line down a highway, Blacken Road, and put half the county on one side and the rest on the other. Thank you very much.